Samari again. I'm filming another topic related video. Again, this is something that's been right in my mind for a long time now, and I'm discussing it with anyone that watches this video. It's about my own personal experiences and my own personal opinions about New York City, and I don't know, this video isn't to encourage or to deter anyone from New York City at all. I just felt like expressing my own opinions because I'm kind of at that point where I'm realizing it's not for me and I'm about to be out of there soon. So these are things that I have realized since maturing in my life and being able to look at life in a more realistic way. My perception of the city has changed since childhood, teenagehood, and now. So reason one why I cannot stand the city. And the first reason, just to get out of the way, it is the most obvious. The city is way too expensive. I'm sorry. For the average man, it is way too expensive. And the minimum wage in New York right now is $15 an hour. That was one of the things that was very appealing to me when I was considering moving to the city, because obviously the minimum wage in New Jersey is way lower. So I figured, well, if I come to the city, I'm at least gonna get $15 an hour. And what I'm making now in the city is more, but the cost of living in the city is just out of control. So even $15 an hour or $20 an hour, $22 an hour, it doesn't really give because of how high the cost of living is. The bottom line is, what I've been hearing, since I don't make six figures currently, but what I've been hearing from people that make six figures a year is that they're even struggling. So if a person that's making six figures is struggling in the city, imagine someone that's making less than that. The city is too expensive. So what comes along with that is you're gonna have to work, obviously, but you're gonna have to work a lot. So it's like, if you're coming in the city expecting that you're gonna live some type of grand social life or have a lot of adventures, which was what I thought was gonna be the case for me, no, because you're gonna work. Work is gonna take away a lot of your time. You're barely gonna have any time to socialize or have adventures or be anything named free. That was highly depressing to me. Next thing I will comment on is the wealth gap in the city is depressing. The wealth gap in the United States as a whole is depressing, but obviously in a capitalistic place like that, where there's a lot of rich people and celebrities, financial people, you will see it in a higher levels. Where I spend the most of my time, I see it so much. It's just the contrast of people that have millions and millions of dollars, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then there's the homeless people on the street, or the homeless people that live in these shelters that are probably deplorable. Who knows? And I'm not gonna comment too much on that because I don't know the state of the shelters. I'm just imagining for myself. How could the richest city, or one of the richest cities in the United States, have all those homeless people on the streets? Where are the programs to help these people? Where are the shelters to help these people? I believe that the richest city, or whatever it is, whether it be the richest city or one of the richest cities in the United States, should not have any homeless people on the streets. If not any homeless people on the streets, it shouldn't be as much homeless people on the streets as I see every day. It's sad. And as much as I've been going to the city for so long, I'm not desensitized to it. A lot of my New York friends or my New York coworkers that I've come across with, they are a level of desensitized to it, but I will never be desensitized to that because it's a problem that can be solved and it needs to be solved. It's really depressing to be taking an evening stroll in the city, or you're walking to work, or whatever the case may be. You're doing your own thing, you're living a normal type of existence, and you're seeing your fellow man having to rummage through the trash for their dinner. That's terrible, honestly. So this is another obvious reason, and I'm not gonna complain about this too much, but New York is dirty and stinky. I'm sorry. But when you look at those beautiful pictures of the city and, you know, all the skyscrapers and all the lights and stuff, it is mesmerizing. But it will fool someone that has never been here before, because when you're actually in those streets, yeah, it's gonna be dirty, it's gonna be stinky. Not every part of the city, but a lot of the city. I mean, when you go down to Soho, not that many parts you see that's dirty and city in those areas where the rent is like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month, and there isn't like a great tourist presence. But when you go to Times Square, some places in Upper Manhattan, it's dirty and stinky. If I were to describe what New York smells like, it's giving garbage, weed, pollution, just a heavy scent. Like the air smells heavy. Dirty water. That combined all in one, by the way. That's what the city smells like. Now in the city, there's actually weed trucks at every corner. So not the whole of Manhattan, but in a lot of places in Manhattan, there's either weed trucks at every corner or there's like a weed shop on every block. So the weed smell goes all throughout the place. Maybe that's some people's dream, but it's not mine. Crime is everywhere. I'm not, ignorant to that fact. I know that crime is everywhere, but I'm just gonna speak on my personal experiences of crime in the city. It's terrible. It's terrible. And it has gotten progressively worse over the years, and it's definitely gotten substantially worse after COVID, as you can expect. Anywhere where there's an increase in poverty and lack, the crime is going to increase. So it's a sad situation, and to the people that are suffering, I'm very sad about it, and I want these things to be resolved. But just throwing caution to the wind, yes, the crime is very bad. For me personally, I'm thankful to God for protecting me. I've never really experienced anything in terms of violent crime against me. The only thing I've had was I was stalked one time by a homeless person, but nothing ever happened for it. I pretty much went to the police car and then he disappeared. But it's just very distressing to walk in the city by yourself and even with someone when you're seeing all the things that happen. So, we have this thing called the Citizens app. A lot of New Yorkers use that app, and basically it shows you in real time news that happens, and eyewitnesses can post and whatever the case may be. So I remember one time I was just at 42nd in Times Square, and I walked to wherever I was walking, and once I got to my destination, I looked on the Citizens app because I have the notifications turned on, and it says man stabbed or whatever the case may be. Man was harmed in some way on 42nd, right where I just was. And I'm like, that could happen to anyone. And that was the case. That has happened so many times throughout me being in Manhattan. Like, I would just be somewhere and I would walk up the street, or I would reach wherever my destination was, and I would see like some crap just happened right where I just was. And I always say, thank you God that wasn't me or anyone that I was with, but that's terrible. That's terrible. It doesn't make you feel safe at all. Or sometimes when some type of violence with a weapon happens, and then you could feel it in the air, like just unsafe. And then the NYPD, sometimes when something happens, the NYPD would put up those street signs, the electronic ones, to show whatever message that they're showing. They're showing like, well, this weapon is illegal in the city, and you know, this and this time will happen to you if you engage in that stuff. That's not what I want to see when I'm walking down the street. You know, it's just an unsettling environment. That's what I would describe it as. You just feel unsettled, like you just don't feel safe. And I'm honestly tired of it. My next reason is lack of connection to nature and pollution. Obviously, this is a city, so you can expect there to be a lot less nature. But when you combine it with less nature and also so much pollution, it doesn't feel like a place where people thrive in a healthy way. Yes, that's what I'll say. It doesn't feel like a place where people thrive in a healthy way. If you are constantly surrounded by toxic culture, toxic work culture, toxic social culture, and toxic, like literal toxicity in the air, it doesn't really feel like a healthy place for the human body, mind, or spirit. And I think this will actually be my last point, which is going to be the drug. Actually, I don't know how to phrase it on YouTube. I don't know if it's appropriate to phrase that on YouTube, but so I'll try to say it in a polite way. People are highly dependent in the city on stimulants, and it goes from caffeine all the way up to Class A. I believe that it's a problem in the United States generally, but because of how toxic the culture is in the city, because of how polluted the city is, and just people are so overworked, and whatever else the reason might be, people are highly dependent on stimulants. That's not natural to the human experience, I believe. And that just puts more stress on us, and it's just a constant cycle of stimulating yourself to get through the day, to be in your natural state, to be in an environment that is low stress, to be in nature, in a less polluted place. Doesn't that sound like peace? Doesn't that sound like peace? If you do not have certain connections, it is going to be harder for you to slip into certain industries. And I'm talking about financial, I'm talking about the entertainment industry. Whatever your dream is or your goal is, the bottom line is that people that are well connected, they're Nepo babies or whatever the case may be, it is going to be 10 times easier for them to achieve those goals and dreams than you. Okay, so it's either you're gonna have to work 10 times harder and still, once you manage to slide into whatever you're trying to slide into, you're gonna have to work really hard to get your way up there, or you're working 10 times harder and it's really sometimes, sadly, like you're not even getting anywhere. So my comment to that is, a lot of people come to New York City, or they go to any big city with the intention of gaining opportunities. My suggestion would be to really plan everything out. Obviously, some people don't plan things out and it manages to work out for them, but that is not the case for the masses, unfortunately. Create a good plan for whatever it is that you're trying to do and how you're going to set yourself aside, and so that you will have a fighting chance against people that are Nepo babies and were literally born into a situation that success is just going to come to them because they're them. My overall view on the city is it's an amazing place filled with greatness, filled with great people, filled with beauty. But to me, I feel like in terms of working there and living there, in my eyes, the bad outweighs the good, and it's not for me. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I didn't make this video to deter anyone or make anyone feel any type of way. This is just me expressing my own thoughts, and maybe someone out there that is living in New York or working in New York would feel the exact same way. Honestly, I'm flirting with the idea, where else would I go? Like, obviously I have aspirations and probably future things that I'll be doing outside of the United States soon, but where else would I go in the United States? I don't know. Drop suggestions in the comments, and I'd love to hear for anyone who watches this video, because I am in the beginning stages of my channel. I'd love to hear in the comments below, like, what do you guys think about New York, or what is your dream of it, or if you've never been there before, or whatever the case may be. Just let me know down below. Thank you so much for watching this video, and please subscribe. I'm trying to get to my first 1,000 subscribers, and give the video a like. Thank you for watching the video.